What's up, you guys? It's Layla Lynn, and I'm back with a new Married at First Sight Seattle video. This season is so messy. And I wanted to come and do an update on Nikki and Shawn. I also wanted to talk about Belle Jolie and Mecca, and about Devin and Caitlyn. That Caitlyn is a sneaky one. So we're going to get into all of that in this video. But first, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Click the thumbs up button. Click the bell. Do all the YouTube things. And let's just start with Shawn. Now, if you watched my last video on Married at First Sight, Shawn and Nikki, I talked about how Shawn seemed to be almost like forcing himself on Nikki. Not physically, but in a manipulative way. Like he wants access to her body, and it seems he is emotionally manipulating her. It seems that they're both Bible believers, and he's saying that her role as a wife is to please her man. Y'all tell me why he seems to have been fired. He got fired from his job from the way he was acting on the show. So somebody posted this on Reddit, and again, this is all allegedly. They said, I was one of his old students. I feel weird opening his emails now. And someone, asked for details, and they say he got fired from the teaching and DEI president for the show, for the bird talk. The bird talk is what I did a video about. The way he treats Nikki, it's gaslighting, manipulation, is bird talk. And they said, and just comments towards Nikki. His last day was last Friday. He walked around campus to other staff talking about the show. Like they watched the show and stuff, and then they did, and then it backfired on him. So basically, it sounds like he was trying to get people to watch the show. Like he's excited about being on the show, and he's telling his colleagues, watch the show, I'm on the show. And then when they watched it, the way he represented himself on the show does not match. I'm sure they have like a code of ethics for the university. Olympia University, I believe, is the name of it. I'm sure there's a code of ethics. And with him being a leader, a vice president of DEI at the university, it was a mismatch. The way he was gaslighting Nikki into getting access to her body, the way he hog-tied Nikki, even though she said she was not attracted to him, all of that was a mismatch with his professional ethics. And so that takes me back to when I did that video on Shawn and he was apologizing. And I kept saying, I don't see an apology to Nikki. It looks like he's apologizing to the public. And I thought it was just because of this new book he has coming out. But apparently it's because he was losing his job. He was about to lose his job. And so he posted on his Instagram that he is leaving. He didn't say that he was fired or quit, but he posted a series of photographs from a graduation at the university. And he said, and just like that, the page turns full of love, gratitude, and opportunity. For the last year, the Seattle area has been the backdrop to one of the most unexpected chapters of my life. I came here to work, to serve, to build community. And he goes on and on for a while. He goes on and on for a while. He says he's grateful for the people, the lessons, grateful for the town. And he says, and yes, there are stories, some funny, some complicated, some deeply personal, some still being written. You'll hear them soon. And I guess he's going to come out with a YouTube, because he says Shawn C. Best on YouTube. Maybe he'll do like a vlog or something like that and explain exactly what happened. But this chapter is over. He says this chapter mattered. I'll always be thankful for what it taught me, who it brought into my life, and the version of myself I discovered while living it. No dramatic goodbye, just a smile, a deep breath, a turn page, and 3 words: to be continued. So let me also mention this while I'm doing this video. There are no direct spoilers in this video, but I feel like some of the ways people phrase things in this video kind of hints at an ending. And so to me, the way he's phrasing this and talking about ending his chapter in Seattle, it just hints at a certain ending to me. So if you don't like spoilers, this wouldn't be the video for you, because there are a lot of hints in the way these people comment on social media. And when I say these people, I'm talking about the cast members. All right, so that is Shawn and Nikki. Shawn was allegedly let go from his position. And I want to also talk about Mecca and Belle Jolie. Mecca, I don't even know where to start with Mecca and his black nails. I feel like Black nail polish on a man is a sign of an alternative lifestyle. And by alternative lifestyle, I actually mean like metrosexual, but just alternative, like it's not the norm. And I feel like he wanted to be matched with a different type of girl. Like I feel like Beljolie is like pretty, like almost like a normal type of pretty, like she's a pretty black girl. And I don't think that's what he wanted. But in any case, MAFS Nation, shout out to MAFS Nation on Instagram. They keep up with all the tea from the show. And they posted a comment. I think this is a thread. They posted it and said, he's just out here wasting everybody's time. So someone had tagged Mecca and say, why go on a show to get married when you're not ready or emotionally mature enough for marriage? Because it's obvious Mecca has so much trauma in his life. And I think the trauma he has with black women is seeing his father's relationships with black women. He's seen two women who were presumably black leave his father and leave him. Like the relationship was so bad. And I've seen women have to do this before where the relationship was so bad that they felt like they had to leave the kids too. Like they almost like running away from a burning building. Like it felt like a fire. And it seemed like he saw that twice. He witnessed two presumably black women run away from his father. And so he seems damaged. So when someone is saying he's showing up emotionally unavailable, emotionally immature, I think there's a lot of healing that he needs to do. But on television is not the place to do it. And you're sacrificing someone else's opportunity by using them for your healing. Mecca responded to this person and said, after all, it is an experiment. The point of the show is not to come into it necessarily ready to be married or even emotionally mature enough for marriage, but rather to work through your emotions, traumas, doubts, and fears to reach a conclusion of readiness on decision day. So in 6 weeks, you're supposed to use this person. You're supposed to use your wife. And a lot of people believe this, that you're supposed to use your partner, your spouse, to work through your emotions, work through your traumas, work through your doubts, and work through your fears. So that's what he came on there to do. And you see him, the way he speaks to Beljolie as if she is not good enough for him, when the real issue is, I don't think she is what he wanted. And the other guys on the show, like Adam asking him, well, do you like white women? I think they're starting to get the picture that she was not what he wanted. It's not her in particular, even though he said, maybe she needs implants, which was incredibly rude. Even though he was having that type of conversation, the bigger conversation, which Adam was getting at, is that she is not the race that he wanted. So anyway, someone else said, oh, brother, it'd be within your best interest to get offline and stop because you're showing everyone how deeply unsmart you are. And he said, very smart, actually. Y'all just don't understand it. And that's okay. And someone suggested he go to growtherapy.com and he yawned. But I agree with that because he seems deeply troubled by things that he has been a witness to, things that he's experienced. And he literally admitted that he is using Beljolie to work through that trouble, to work through that trauma. And that's a shame. So like I said, he made this comment about her. It's crazy, but about her needing implants. And this was her response. Shout out to T.Territory on, I gotta log in, T.Territory on TikTok.
I did want to hit and touch on something, just touch on it a little bit. The dinner, right? You guys do know it is okay to want the best for your friends, even if you're in a toxic situation, right? Like that is a thing, and it should be more of a thing. And it actually is shocking me that so many people don't get that. Like my friend made a very, very good point, my best friend. He said, even if I was poor, I would still want the best for my friend. I would still want my friend to excel and have a great job. And like, that is a thing. So yes, it was a little aggressive of how I said it because that was liquor courage, thanks to tequila. But I still said what I said and I meant every word of it. She deserves better and I don't like that for my friend, regardless of what I have going on in my life. That's neither here or there. And you guys will get...
So what she's referring to is Nikki and Shawn with his body and his face, telling Nikki she's a 10 in Seattle, but a 7 in New York. And Beljolie spoke out for Nikki at the group dinner scene. That's what she was referring to, because a lot of fans were saying you were speaking out for Nikki, but you need to speak to your own husband because it looks like your own husband is the one you were really upset with. That's who disrespected you.
to see as time goes on that side of things. However, when it comes down to my friends, I don't care what's going on in my life. I'm always going to want the absolute best for them. So y'all can kiss it, to be honest with you. I hope you guys are excited because next week is decision day as well as reunion. So make sure you watch reunion. Here's the outfits. About to head out. How the girls sitting because who's finna get a boob job just to make another man's pee-pee hard? Not me. Love you. Hello.
So, like I said, I feel like this video is not direct spoilers, but the way she's phrasing things, I feel like she's hinting, like even calling him another man, not just my man or my husband, but calling him another man. I feel like it's a spoiler. But in any case, I also want to share Caitlyn and Mecca. Mecca got his hair lined up for Caitlyn. If you're not watching, there are a lot of group scenes this season. And in one of the group scenes where all the couples were together, the question, I believe it was posed to Beljo-Lee. Like it wasn't Mecca's question, but the question was posed to Beljo-Lee. If there was any other person in this group who you think was meant to be your partner, but there was some type of mix-up, who do you think was meant to be your partner? And so Beljo-Lee took it like a joke. She didn't name any of the men. She named Tori, one of the women, just as a joke, trying not to disrespect her husband. And then what did her husband go and do but disrespect her by answering the question that wasn't even asked to him, if I remember correctly? But he also named two of the women. He named Caitlyn and he named Michelle. Michelle appears to be Asian. Caitlyn appears to be white, and they look like his type. And so Caitlyn went Love Island. Caitlyn went Love Island on Mecca after she heard that, and she pulled Mecca for a chat. She was like, can I talk to you outside? And she was supposed to be talking to him about Devin, but I'm looking at the body language. I don't care what the words are saying. I'm looking at the body language. She is sitting between his legs. Mecca has his legs propped wide open and has Caitlyn between his legs. And she don't even sit like that with her own husband. The husband they assigned her on the show that she don't really like for whatever reason, she doesn't even sit with him like that. And to me, I feel like this is a form of flirting. Even if you take it back, if you take it all the way back to Tristan Thompson and Jordan Woods, one of the issues was the way they were sitting. The way they were sitting on the sofa was flirty. And to me, it's the same issue here. Sitting between a man's legs, whether or not you're actually touching that man or on that man, you could be face to face, but sitting between a man's open legs like that, like they are flirting with each other, and she does not even flirt with her husband like that. So that was disrespectful. Her husband caught it though. I feel like Beljo-Lee was letting it go because in another scene, Beljo-Lee, Caitlyn, and Mecca were all on the sofa together. So Beljo-Lee is kind of playing with it. She's making sure she's there, like she's letting it go. But Devin is not letting it go. Caitlyn's husband is not letting it go. And he went and interrupted that scene. And so speaking of Caitlyn and Mecca, someone posted this on Threads. Kyra posted this on Threads. And she said also this was Caitlyn's reaction to Belle telling them about Mecca's comment. Now Mecca's comment was about her not being attractive enough for him. And I feel like they matched the two of them because they look similar. Like, I feel like on a scale of attractiveness, like they're kind of like neck and neck. Like they're both attractive people. But he told her when he first met her, he was not attracted to her. And he had a conversation with himself, asking himself, she's pretty, he said, but is she pretty enough for me? And then he shook his head no. He didn't verbalize the no, but he shook his head no. Like, she's not pretty enough for me. And then he told the guys, I know this sounds crazy to hear because she's such a pretty girl, but he told the guys that he sits and looks at her like around the house and just looks at little things. And the more he looks at her, he sees little things about her that he likes. And so it's almost like he's working through it, just like Nikki and Shawn, how she initially was not attracted to Shawn, but she was trying to work through it, which women tend to do. But for a man, really, either they're attracted to you or they're not. If a man says he's not attracted to you, it's a big deal. And so him trying to work through his attraction to her while at the same time embarrassing her on global television, it's so completely disrespectful. But in any case, this is when she was telling the other women about it. And you see Nikki looking concerned, but you see one of the other wives, you can see her face is dropped, like she's concerned. But what is Caitlyn doing? Caitlyn is laughing. She's laughing because Caitlyn likes Mecca. They have a little thing going on. She's flattered that Mecca likes her, but not his own wife. And I also want to add in some tea about Devin from MAFS Fan again. They posted this in their stories. So, over the season, I got the following comments and messages about Devin. Can't confirm if true or not, but wanted to share. Just a reminder that all is not often as it seems, because on the show, the matchmakers love Devin. They said he's the most committed to this entire process. Like he's basically the best man there, but people are commenting that know him in real life. One said, dude, he blindsided his previous girlfriend and dumped her to run onto the show. It's all an act. He's a known cheater in Seattle as well. It's fake. He's too good with the words. He's never had a relationship longer than a year. There's a reason for that. Nobody that's self aware would have such short term relationships at his age. Someone sent a message and said, don't something, just trying to keep my name private. I know Devin personally, and I know for a fact that Devin had a serious girlfriend and broke it off when he was officially casted. That's pretty messed up if you ask me. Either A, you're a messed up partner who is willing to drop a serious relationship for a TV show, or B, you were only in it for the clout to begin with. Neither one is a great look. And if you're buying followers now, seems like it's B to me. You were only in it for the clout. And so another person sent a message and said, okay, basically, Adam was not the only one dating someone up until the show. He was also dating blank and broke up with her right before filming. Don't think it made the storyline, so we'll see on Thursday. And the Mavs fan said, can you share who? And they said Devin. They're talking about Devin. And they said, no surprise, I'm so sorry for blank. Had they been dating a while? And this person said 6 months. So to me, 6 months is not a long-term relationship, but I don't know what he's doing in the 6 months. If he's hyping these women up to feel like it's a serious relationship, because these people keep commenting saying that he was in a serious relationship and just dropped her to be on the show. So maybe he had the girl feeling like it was serious, even though it had only been 6 months. But either way you take it, that is the tea on Devin. All is not as it seems, allegedly. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Shawn allegedly being fired. What do you think about the situation between Beljolie, Mecca, Caitlyn, and Devin? As always, thanks for watching.